the fire and snow. Voices of unknown in the cold window.
Shadows in the night, but the stars still glow. If I fall tonight, let the whole world know.
Calling me home where the old gods stand. Through the storm and the blood red sand, the sky falls down and the rivers run slow. Hear my name in the winter snow.
This might be the most ridiculous rabbit hole I've ever went down. The last part is mind-blowing. Mountain Dew flavor conspiracy. I went down this rabbit hole so you don't have to. Apparently there are world events coincide with Mountain Dew's flavor release date. Yeah, Mountain Dew's flavor names are very cryptic. Mountain Dew, the soda drink that started in 1940 by the Hartman brothers, was actually made just to cut whiskey. That's how it started. And because the mixture worked so well, it actually tastes like moonshine, which Mountain Dew is the slang term for moonshine. I swear all soda drinks have like some slippery origin story. They all started out on the wrong side of the tracks, if you know what I mean. So that's the backstory. Okay, flavors. Let's start with their first flavor, Code Red, May 2001. Code Red is also code for an extreme world event. That's what happened on September 2001, an extreme world event here in the United States. Let's start with the flavor Pitch Black. First released in 2004, major cyber attack. Released in 2016, bigger cyber attack. Then re-released in 2024, bigger cyber attack. Remember in 2024, the CrowdStrike cyber attack, which affected millions of Windows computers. That could just be a coincidence, right? Okay. In 2024, they also released Star Spangled Splash. You know what also happened in 2024? The Francis Scott Key Bridge was destroyed. Who's Francis Scott Key? He is the author of the Star Spangled Banner. That's the bridge that was named after the author of the Star Spangled Banner was destroyed the same year that Star Spangled Splash by Mountain Dew was released. See, now it's getting weird. At first I was like, this is a cute little rabbit hole, and then it got real. Hey, follow me. In 2019, re-released in 2023, Maui Blast. So happened in 2023, the fires in Maui. Is this a coincidence? Is there a conspiracy here? I don't know. But when you line them up, it starts to look a little wild. Not to mention, also released in 2023, Baja Blast. Also happened in 2023, the Ensenada shootout in Baja, California, Mexico that left 10 unalive. I'm not making this up. I wish I was making this up. I'm not making this up. Little breakdown. You may be asking me, Brandon, what's the next one? April 6th. 2026. Dirty Dew is the new flavor. Dirty Dew, April 6th, 2026. What does that mean? My mind went somewhere with Dirty Dew. I don't know if I'm tripping. This was just an afternoon rabbit hole that I went down, and then I landed at Dirty Dew, April 6th, 2026. Let me know what you think that means. And maybe I'm not. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Let me know. It's us.
Data centers are turning the water brown all over the country, and posting about it could get you arrested. That's what happened to Texas mom Jennifer Combs, who was charged with a felony 4 days after she made a Facebook post about the brown drinking water in her town. She was charged with felony false report and accused of causing unnecessary fear and confusion in the community. All because of this post that says, "We have received reports that some citizens have been hospitalized due to bacteria in the water. We are gathering information and reporting findings to the state," and then literally clarifies, "We are aware that not all areas of Trinidad are experiencing these issues." Unfortunately, this isn't an isolated incident. A journalist was arrested just last week in the same town for protesting the water contamination outside of the police department. There's even an ongoing lawsuit against the city claiming political retaliation. I don't know. Let me know if you think her Facebook post is a felony.
Look at the pollution caused by data centers on residential water. This is out of Texas. This is what happens when you rush the building of data centers without regulations and you just rush it into existence. A whole bunch of negative things come along with that, including water pollution. and water shortages. Now people are seeing a massive decrease in water pressure where these data centers are going up at. Oh, and by the way, their drinking water and the water that they bathe in is disgusting because there's no EPA regulations regulating what needs to be done because Donald Trump just cuts all that shit for the sake of expediency. He is a fool. He has no cares about the environment or the people who are going to be impacted by this. Look at what these people are showering and bathing in and are expected to be drinking. It's not even possible. They have to bring in water now from somewhere else. It becomes their problem. We need to have these data centers they don't need to be in existence here. Send them to Canada, send them out. We don't need them here in America.
This is a video of a woman standing in what used to be the Great Salt Lake, you guys. It is drying up because the data centers. Look at this. How long until this happens to the Great Lakes or any other big source of water? Look at this, you guys.
Hey, so this is what's left of the Great Salt Lake. I'm in it. I would be what would be in it.
They guzzled up all the water, you guys.
Yo, this is the other Twin Lakes. This is the other one, and she doesn't have any water. She has no water. I don't really know how to process this. I heard about this on TikTok, but I thought the girl that made the video was exaggerating. And now that I'm on this side of Twin Lakes, I'm on the Twin Lakes side, closer to Independence Pass. I knew the water levels were going to be low, but this isn't low. This is empty.
So now another lake that has gone completely dry, you guys. Twin Lakes, Colorado, drying up. The Great Salt Lake, drying up.
Folks, I'm currently standing in the Rio Grande River right now. This is what it looks like right here. All dirt. All dirt.
Another body of water completely drained by an AI data center, you guys.
You're looking at an environmental catastrophe, what this is. The new Meta data center in Los Lunas, New Mexico, takes 75 million gallons per year to cool down the data center. And this is what we're left with. Another data center is being built in El Paso right now, a Facebook Meta data center. How much more water is that going to take? This is going to be, folks, this is apocalyptic.
The average American holds hundreds of gigabytes of data in the cloud. Big tech companies, the healthcare and finance sectors, governments, of course, hold much more. Of course, none of this lives up in the clouds. It's stored in large warehouses on the ground. In many data centers, massive cooling systems suck out hot air and pass it through air conditioning units in a continuous loop. The most common type uses chilled water to absorb heat and release it from a cooling tower. This Microsoft data center was built in 2019, and over the last 3 years, one has become 5. And as you can see from the air permit documents we requested from the Maricopa County Air Quality Department, this cluster is likely to be huge.
We're looking at a total of 280 generators at this facility, so it's a huge amount.
Documents show that Microsoft planned for each of these buildings to use 1 million gallons of water a day, a total of 1.83 billion gallons a year. That's enough water for roughly 61,000 Americans, or a city the size of Santa Cruz, California. All this in a desert-like climate that is getting hotter and drier every year.
This is a proposed site for a new data center here in the southwest of Arizona. From what I understand, the only way they're going to get water here is drill into the ground and use groundwater.
As the Colorado River makes its way south from the Rockies, its precious water is siphoned off for agriculture, industry, and housing. Since 2000, river flow has shrunk by 20%. So by the time it reaches Arizona, every drop counts. These maps show how extreme drought has gripped the state since 2000. Zoom out and you can see the entire Southwest is drying up. And then, if we overlay the map we've built, you can see the mega thirsty data centers moving in.
This is the current drinking water in Morgan County, Georgia. Right after a data center was constructed, the Meta data center was constructed, the only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation. This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center. And I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable. These families now have to ship, in a rural area, have to ship water to their house in order to cook and bathe themselves. Now, I'm curious if the EPA plans any investigations on how data centers are affecting water quality and availability. I understand what you said about the rule, but are there going to be any open investigations on this issue?
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being met. And so we'll be looking into that certainly.
There's a guy hiding in the woods right there. This is how I see him with night vision. Right now looking at the dude, he's 35 meters away on a light background. He's moving. I can only tell there's something there because of the movement. Otherwise, he would be pretty much invisible to me. This is with some extra light that's highlighting him. And this is how I see him with nodes using an FDO thermal overlay. Now switching on the thermal overlay and he's right there. So bright as day. Extra light doesn't really do anything. So nothing else highlights, just the person. And this is how I see him with a thermal. Now lastly with the thermal, I'm using the Cherry YM 2.0 with the new color palette or the updated red hot, and he's very crisp. I can tell exactly where he is, no hiding from the thermal. Now using the Falcon 640 as the thermal, the red hot is so clear. There's nothing else in this forest that gives me a red hot signature except that little mouse over there and then that guy.
En México acaba de ocurrir un avistamiento loquísimo. Fíjate en esto. Afortunadamente alguien estuvo atento al cielo y nos puede brindar estas espectaculares tomas. Típico, los escépticos dirán que es algún globo aerostático, algún globo meteorológico, por último hasta un globo de helio, negándose a creer de que este tipo de fenómenos ovnis existen y se muestran a vista y paciencia de todo mundo. A plena luz del día, Colombia, al igual que México y Chile, registran un gran número de estos avistamientos inexplicables.
Oh my god. What the f is that? Holy shit. Oh my god, what's it doing? Holy shit. Oh man. Where the f did it go? Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Olha aí, ó, que doideira.
Ó, sair dentro da água, dá pra ver a margem da água ali, né?
Tá toda hora fazendo isso.
E ali já é margem de nuvem, já parece dele, ele tá atrás só.
Será que não é uma nave?
O geni, já.
Olha isso aqui, ó. Tá...
É ao vivo agora, lá. Olha isso, que loucura!
Olha isso! Meu Deus do céu! Olha lá, eu hoje, agora, tá ao vivo, entra lá pra você ver. Tô indo de nervosa. Olha que doideira.
Daí ele entra na água e some, olha lá. Dá um zoom pra ela ver.
Meu Deus do céu. Gente, ó, tá ao vivo. Vai lá ver. Ei, vai entrar dentro do mar.
Que bagulho doido. Sumiu? Ó, só reflexo da sombra. Ó,
eita.
Brilhou dentro da onda, ó, tá vendo? A onda brilhou.
Tô vendo, né?
Só pra ninguém dizer que é mentira, ó.
Tá subindo, parece.
Ó, tá ao vivo. Gisele Imóveis. Olha lá mais lá no céu.
Eita, olha.
Tá vendo isso?
Meu Deus do céu.
É que ele sobe muito lá atrás.
Gente, eu tô chocada. Ah, meu. Tá subindo ainda?
Aqui não dá pra ver.
Ai, olha isso. Não tá certo, cara. Subiu demais ainda. Eu tô indo nervosa. Gente, será?
Tem que ligar ela pra ser.
Não é porque tá brilhando.
É a tela. Olha lá o pontinho vermelho.
Uma nave alienígena lá em cima da água. Olha o tamanho da largura do rio.
Olha aí, meu amor. O tamanho da nave lá. As duas luzes do meio apagando lá. Em cima do rio. Pra quem não acredita, ó.
A nave alienígena lá. O tamanho da bicha comparado com o rio. Ó o rio, o tamanho da ponta. E o tamanho do negócio.
Holy shit! Holy shit! What the fuck? It just went boom! You're kidding! No way, dude!
That's not funny.
Holy shit! What?
I was hired to dig a giant hole in the woods. I eventually asked, like, what are we looking for? And the demeanor changed a bit on the crew when I asked that question. And I was told, we don't know. But if we find anything strange, we're going to hand it off to the guy who's actually running this. But every time we found something, we would pull it out of the hole, and the rule was instantly everyone faces away. When we first found the first few things, that's when it really started kicking in, like, why are we doing it this way? And it was no every time. And it was just, all right, back to work. And then one day, we found what they were looking for. I got hired to go to Mount Shasta and dig a hole, and they would not tell us what we were looking for. If I found anything that seemed out of the ordinary, I was told to pull it out and face the opposite direction. Boulders, we're pulling these boulders out about basketball sized, and when they were split, the inside was dark. There's no quartz crystals in it. Like, the fuck are we doing out here? They won't tell us anything. You think that's just going to end the moment we find what they're looking for? It got to the point where we were nervous of what we found and if they were going to let us step off of that mountain.
This man is so careful with his words as he warns us about what is coming next and what we must do to protect ourselves.
I can't say it, but I'm telling you, I know what's going to happen next. So I instructed her, we have a bunch of booklets coming out, that when they come out, just trust me, you need to know what's in there. I don't care if you have to just take them. Don't steal them, I'll give them to you. But these are things that are strategic. I know what they have planned. What I told her is how much metal you have in your body will affect you when this thing happens. It has to do with frequency. Okay, so that I stay safe and I can come back and I stay alive, I want to tell you something. I will give you a hint of what he showed me. It's going to happen. And you have to get rid of these metals in your body. You have to have a carrier that will grab things and take them out of your body, okay? That's why I wanted her to speak to you about this. So, if you want to know what's going to happen, and it could happen tomorrow, it could happen, but they're going to say it's something else. You're going to have to do your own thinking about this. I don't want to get in trouble. But just stick a piece of foil in a microwave and picture that in your body. And now you know the devil's plan.
This might be the craziest American Alchemy episode of all time. In the video you're about to watch, we reveal some extremely hardcore details about how UFO programs actually work. Spoiler alert, it involves rounding up people from third world countries who have psychic capabilities to systematically summon or lure in UFOs. It also involves electromagnetic pulse weaponry used to down these crafts. And of course, it involves reverse engineering the technology. What you end up with is a parallel reality, a breakaway technology chain, and the ability to hide all of these things in mountain and undersea bases all over the world that are sometimes jointly operated by non-humans and humans. In this episode, we want to get into exactly how the Black UFO program actually works. I'm talking about disclosure at a whole new level, hidden in plain sight. Aerospace programs recruiting psychics from third world countries. In fact, they are often drugged, microchipped, and used like human joysticks to fly these UFOs. I'm also talking about underground bases hidden all over the world. And I'm talking about holograms and nanotechnology used to create entryways into these mountain bases that only open up for certain people with certain biosignatures. And finally, I'm talking about protocols that can help anyone, you included, attract and see UFOs, and maybe call one to your bedroom window. Protocols that the government has been exploiting in hidden programs for decades. So what's the real secret that the Pentagon doesn't want you to know? The ability for any person to connect to this phenomenon or attract it like a human antenna is real. The big secret isn't a mothership. It's you, your own human nature that's far more magical than the happy accident of random atomic interactions we're told about in school. If anything, that worldview of materialist reductionism, that's the PSYOP. So keep your eyes peeled, because tonight we're going inside the book the Pentagon doesn't want you to read. We'll decode what's real, what's fiction, and what's hiding 5 miles east of Coyame, Mexico.
The
conclusions were that the planet Earth has been under a detailed, extensive survey by several extraterrestrial civilizations for many, many years. The study concluded that this survey has been going on for centuries, maybe even longer. They indicated that there was a high intelligence involved, extremely high technology involved. The technology that had been demonstrated was at least 1,000 years beyond anything we could imagine. There did not appear to be any kind of a malevolent or hostile threat involved, because if there had been, there was absolutely nothing we could see in Europe. The study was, one of the major conclusions was that one of those civilizations, the people looked exactly like we did, and that troubled the military people in Shape Headquarters, because it became quite apparent to them that these aliens could put on a suit and a tie or sport jacket, sit next to you in a restaurant, sit next to you on a bus, or walk up and down the corridors of Shape Headquarters, and you'd never know. That troubled the generals a lot, included as has Zechariah Sitchin. The human race has probably been seeded here by high intelligence civilizations from other places. I think those who placed us here and those who have been intimately involved with our genetic manipulation and growth are interested. I think they're concerned with. I think they are related to. And I think that that's why they're so involved. One of the conclusions of the study was that there was a program or a process, some kind, taking place. There seemed to be some sort of a planned and organized procedure unfolding. They had evidence from the study that this phenomenon had been going on for a very, very long time. And there seemed to be some kind of an intelligent plan involved. They never were able to conclude to intelligence. I've been studying this phenomenon for over 30 years, and I'm convinced that we're reaching a point where not only do we have to educate the people of the planet, but I think the aliens themselves are going to make themselves known before too long. Well, there's a danger that the public would panic if they haven't.
This world is a prison. Your soul has been here before many times. Each life you forget, each life you suffer, each life we collect. You are special, but it comes at a cost. Don't you want your suffering to mean something?
Yes. Of course I don't have a choice. It's the only thing that makes sense.
No veteranse, we cortales, Tasana.
Saris, Sakik.
Isakaratan, Veshataratan, Intamana.
Don Oret.
I only came here for revenge. You don't get to speak. I'll tell them what happened. I don't want to speak. Say whatever you want. Gathered here for one purpose, to stand together against a common enemy. Reptilians. Listen! Unite your strength. Prepare for the greatest battle in our history. If you stand with me, declare your readiness.
Shavara Talketh, Noruvek Sharan. Veltora Nakin, Rashvek Toran. Vektara Shum, Redkar Navel, Torash Veksu. Prepare my army.
It's Jenny's brilliant video, cymatics. This is powder on a metal plate. It's not a liquid or a jelly, it's powder. You can see landscapes being formed here over extended periods of time. Mountains can form, valleys, volcanoes, all to do with the sound of the earth coming out of the earth. And some of these pictures, the images of this CymaScope images, tell us that it was these sounds, the images of the sound, that actually inspired religious symbols. That beautiful cross in a circle at the center of some of these cymatic photographs give us a very clear indication that the creators of the religious symbols knew exactly what they were talking about, that the source of creation is sound.
It's God's hand in all of this. They're coming. The minute you see Trump hit the ground, the false flags, power outages, the cyber attacks, and the hit teams are coming. MS-13's on their payroll. Communist Chinese troops, hundreds of thousands in the U.S. We're going to get hit on all sides. It's the end of the country, the end of everything. You're going to starve to death. And just remember I warned you, and remember I told you, because we will beat this long term. Even if we fail, they kill Trump, this goes forward. What we're doing now ensures the resistance movement. We will beat them. We will dig them out. We will reconstitute the republic, and we will go find all the globalists, wherever they're hiding. We will put them on trial publicly, and then publicly in front of the White House.
Very far. Long trip.
Long after the last physical war, humans discovered a new way to fight. They connected their minds, shared thoughts, shared fears, shared strength. The war with AI was no longer fought in the sky or on the ground. It was fought in silence. Inside dreams. A powerful mind was born from the collective. It created a child made of memory and light.
I'd like to buy that horse. $300,000. And if you don't like the price, go somewhere else. Take your money and go. Wait a minute, that's my horse you're talking about there. And I'll sell it to whoever I want if they can afford the price I'm asking.
You can't do that. We have laws against it, Pope. Good laws, and for a damn good reason.
Not allowed, right. Myself a favor and listen to the story. I'm going to tell you about the time when the children were kidnapped. There were 10 children altogether. The kidnappers turned out to be vampires, of course. And so the townspeople pooled their money to hire a vampire hunter. They wanted the best. And when the hunter came, he was a very strong and quiet man. And he did his job, too, which was to return the children safely back into their parents' homes. And when it was over, and the children were back home, the people attacked the man. They said he was a Dunpeel half-vampire himself, so they punished him. He did the job. I see, then I'll have to take matters into my own hands. Let him go. Get on your horse, stranger. Thank you.
No, it's only fitting I thank you. It's the least I can do. I may be just an old fool now, stranger, but I could never forget a face like yours. And I'll never forget what you done for me back then. All right. That's right. I was one of them kids.
A number of things that I've heard from people in the Pentagon that
the buzzword in the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Sumerian gods are returning, and that's what they're referring to as that whole area that Peter's.
Wow! Can you repeat that again, just in case anybody missed it? The buzzword
in the Pentagon, and the military circles that are in the know about the cover-up here, they kind of in whisper tones talk about the return of the Sumerian gods. And they're talking about the what we would call aliens or fallen angels returning into the Middle East, into Old Sumer area.
The Anunnaki.
Venus perils.
Our time on this world has come to an end. We must leave you behind.
Burn the pyramids to ash.
Eva, Shairavel no kait.
Dom, have you seen this? Bro, my heart just sank. Dog, did you just see that? Dude, I got all of that on video.
Begin the annihilation protocol. Prepare my ship. Yes, my lord. Why? What are you doing? I'm saving who I can. But Earth must be destroyed. Destroyed? Why? Our technology cannot fall into their hands. Reptilians. They're coming. We need to find her!
Ne der verse der میبینیمش اینجاست من کار در میدسته در میتونه در واسه تو سر من کن
I wanted to bring up this before we even talk about Iran. Everybody, I mean, you broke the internet known as Mask Man. Can you pull on your face or something for me, sir? What was going on there?
Grant, it's just a distraction from the important subject we want to talk about, Iran.
And at a time like now, we need to be focused on that problem with the president. He's got a challenge on his hand. Got a
Admiral, hold on a second. You realize if you answer like that, this is going to send the internet into the stratosphere if you don't tell me what was going on. And you know I love you, and I know you're an American hero, and I don't think you were wearing a mask. But just tell me something so I can let the internet be happy, and then we can move on here.
Grant, the internet's not my problem, okay? I'm here to talk about Iran. The internet's going to do what the internet wants to do, and I'll let it be at that. But let's not lose track of what's important here, where we are with Iran.
Hold on, real quick. Can you just give me a tug, and then I'll move on? Just
Grant,
one little tug.
No, you're not going to get anything out of me. I'm not going to justify any of that.
All right. Just so everyone out there knows, I tried with unlike Fox News, they didn't ask you about it, which was crazy. I think there's like 60 million, 80 million views on this thing. But I'll let you off the hook, Admiral, because you are an American hero.
Wake up! We're home! We're home!
My lord, why are you so troubled?
Inform my mother that I have returned.
Grows intense and hypnotic. The grace becomes an urgent.
My queen! Your sons have returned.
What are you doing here?
They took Earth from us.
Who?
The reptilians.
No! I will erase their bloodline. Inform Anu. He must know what has happened.
If we develop our psychic ability, we are going to be a power in the universe because we can see way into the future, anywhere in space. That's why our friends want us out there and our enemies don't want us off this planet.
You have experienced so much, both in the world of remote viewing. You are the inspiration for The Men Who Stared at Goats, an incredible George Clooney movie about a psychic spy stopping a goat's heart. So you must have had a very high clearance.
Oh yeah, I had one of the highest clearances, not only for the remote viewing, but for other stuff that will never be talked about.
You remote viewed alien bases.
the 4 major alien bases on the Earth, one in Mount Hayes, Alaska, Mount Zeal in Australia.
Secret Mountain near Bradshaw Ranch in Sedona, Arizona. Mount Inyangani is another alien base. Have you ever seen humans and aliens working side by side in a non-remote viewing capacity?
Yeah, one of the, what they call the insectoids.
Wow.
It was sitting in a row of humans that were at the positions working some equipment.
Whoa. You've seen a UFO inside a hangar.
That's where I came across this control panel, and that's when I said, hey, that's out of a UFO.
So how do you fly a UFO?
An impression of a hand on it, where you put your finger over the hole, controls the ship. The alien was there. He took me up front. He was the pilot. So I tried it, and I learned how to do it.
People like you with high psi powers, elite level skill.
Yeah.
You can do a lot.
We can change the weather anywhere in the world.
This takes mutually assured destruction to a whole new level.
The Russians look across the battlefield and kill their enemies by stopping their hearts. Our government was afraid of us. With the remote viewing, there's no more secrets. My biggest strength actually is accessing people mentally.
Can you access me mentally right now?
I heard this terrific noise. It was just like a giant cauldron of water being poured onto a fire. A shh sort of noise, you know. And my first reaction was, oh, the children. I thought maybe a plane was crashing or something like that. And I slipped my jumper on and went outside to find my 2 sons lying flat on the ground in the garden in front of the house, shouting, "Mummy, Mummy, there's a flying saucer." Well, naturally, I just said, "Come on, don't be stupid. Come in the house." But felt sort of a strange sensation. Wended my way up the side of the house to where we had a pump where we used to get all our water from, and automatically looked up to see this, all I can describe, this huge Mexican hat. It was stationary, this thing, and it was bright silver in colour, and it had a dome. It was tilted to sort of, I could see the occupants in it.
You saw people in it?
I saw people in it. There were 2 people in there. These people were beautiful people. That's the only way I can describe them. They had long golden hair, like a page boy bob, just like the old kings. You used to see photographs of the old kings. And the colour of the hair was golden. Now, I was really...
What were they dressed in?
They had a sort of a polo neck jumper affair, like a ski top suit, in pale blue. Now, these people weren't sat behind, one behind the other. They were sat together, but this, whatever it was tilted so that I could see them and they could see me.
Were you looking at them through windows, through portholes, or what?
No, not portholes. It was just sort of like a cockpit, I suppose, that had this perspex or glass or whatever it was. They could see me anyway, and I could see them. And they had beautiful faces. I shall never forget their faces as long as I live.
Bring me the entity. This must not leak outside. Call the Queen.
Everyone will know. No one can hide this. They have come to Earth.
Yudi bi'aitil, utu be'azi.
Ignis sub carne insurgit. Lux non poscissit!
You know, it was very interesting that the White House released all those first tranche of documents and kind of photos and videos. But we know that there's a lot more that will be coming. I think the bigger problem is that we have learned, and we predicted this would be the case when we first reached out to people in Congress and the administration back in December 2024, that they would get blocked and they wouldn't get information through channels. Excuse me. Now that's been confirmed by members of Congress. That's what's happening. Now the workaround, and I think this is where I want to be very specific, and this is a message for people at the White House, the President, and the Congress. They have to first understand the nature of the secrecy. It's not legal, normal, top secret secrecy, or TSSCI, or compartmented word code in the normal sense of even a black project. These projects have been and are being run by a consortium of corporations with their people in government here and overseas as a criminal operation. And they're involved in criminal procedures, crimes of all types. We've been saying this for 30 years. I realized this after I briefed the CIA director for Bill Clinton and then members of Senate Intelligence way back in the 90s, and that this is the first mistake they're making. They're treating this as a normal investigation when what we have said is that you have to go outside the chain of command, because most of the people you're going to turn to as president or as person in Congress won't have access to anything. Let me repeat that. They won't have access. Doesn't matter if it's the president requesting it or the Secretary of War or the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Now, I can say this because I've been involved intimately for 30 some years with this procedure of trying to get the government's arms around this. Now, what we have done, which they need to avail themselves of, is through intermediaries. We have provided and that's all I'm going to say about that, but there are people who know what they're doing in military and intelligence circles who are working with us very closely. We have provided them a roadmap to not only where the evidence is, which corporations are holding it, but also where the specific black sites and underground facilities are. And this has been provided in great detail. Now, it will take an executive order for them to get those assets under control of the legal and constitutional government. I believe some of that is happening, but not enough. And I think the other point is that the strategy has to be informed by the facts on the ground. And the facts on the ground are, the bad news is that organization has surveillance and technological capabilities way above what the national security apparatus that the president and the Secretary of War or the current leaders in the intelligence agencies like the Director of National Intelligence have access to. These are very advanced technologies, reverse engineered and studied for 80 years from civilizations thousands of years more developed than we are. And therefore, they have that edge strategically, and that's not going to go away anytime real soon. However, their Achilles heel is they're very thin. They're very small in number. Because of the nature of the criminal enterprise and how secret it is, it means their personnel and assets in terms of just boots on the ground are limited. And can be easily penetrated and overwhelmed. There are also tactical operations that the conventional military can use way beyond just a helicopter or a jet or a Humvee or a gun or a tank or what have you, that would be able to neutralize these, if there's any resistance from those facilities. And I'm not going to talk about that publicly, but that has been provided to the tactical operators and military people we've been meeting with. Ultimately, it's going to take a decisive action that'll have to come from the top.
Area 51 is one of the most secretive spots on the planet. It's located on the northeast edge of the Nevada test site and is said to be where numerous top-secret weapons systems have been tested over the years. According to some UFO researchers, it's also where the government is test flying alien spacecraft. It sounds pretty far out, but some Las Vegas residents report having seen these flying saucers.
A local scientist who says he worked at Groom Lake and saw the saucers joins us in tonight's interview. He has asked that his identity be shielded. Sir, how do we know you are who you say you are and that you actually have knowledge about what's going on at Groom Lake?
Well, I guess there's no way you could really know. There's really no way I could prove it without revealing my identity and getting myself into more trouble than I have already.
Exactly what's going on up there?
Well, there's several, actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs that are out there of extraterrestrial origin. And they're basically being dismantled. Some are, well, in various stages of completion, built from other parts, and they're being test flown and basically just analyzed.
You say there's 9 saucers. How are those tests going?
As far as what?
As far as whether they're successful and that sort of thing.
Oh, well, some of them are 100% intact and operate perfectly. The other ones are being taken apart. I was involved mainly in propulsion and the power source. Basically, as far as I can remember, about half of them do operate, and the other half are just been torn down, basically to analyze the components to them.
Where did we get these saucers? How did they come into the hands of the government?
I haven't the slightest idea, and you have to understand the information is very compartmentalized. And I was only allowed information that pertained particularly to what I was involved in.
But I mean, couldn't our government have made them as opposed to getting them from some alien beings?
Totally impossible. The propulsion system is a gravity propulsion system. The power source is an antimatter reactor. This technology does not exist at all. In fact, one of the reasons that I'm going forward with this information, it's not only a crime against the American people, it's a crime against the scientific community, which I've been part of for some time. Or actively trying to duplicate these systems, yet they are in existence now and basically in the hands of the government.
What would happen to you if the government learned that you were giving us this information?
Anything could happen. I don't know. I haven't the slightest idea.
Well, you said you were referred to getting into trouble. Have you had some repercussions already?
Yeah, I've been threatened with being charged with espionage. I've had my life threatened by them, my wife's life threatened by them, and I mean, I don't know where else you can go from there.
Will the government ever tell us about the testing, and do the Soviets know about this?
The Soviets were involved at some specific point. They were kicked out of the program rather abruptly in the middle. I don't know why that was or what happened. They're not very happy about it. And as far as them revealing it, I'm sure they have every intention of claiming that all the technology was developed here, and it was absolutely not.
If the Soviets were kicked out of this testing program, why wouldn't they tell us about this?
I have no idea. They weren't allowed all the information. Apparently they had some, and we were basically trading with them. As far as whether they have discs or not, I don't know. I don't even know if they had knowledge that we actually had any there. But they were involved to some extent, and I don't know how much.
What about aliens? Any of those up there at Groom Lake?
I really want to steer away from that right now.
Is the Star Wars program in any way related to what's going on up there? I know some people believe that maybe we're building Star Wars for something other than the Soviets.
This directly taps out of the Star Wars budget, which is very hard to follow because it requires huge amounts of money. It also, it taps out of a lot of other, places too that would be very hard to track down. But yeah, Star Wars is directly related to it. The United States Navy is the part of the government that really maintains control over this.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us. It's pretty interesting stuff you've got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, more news in just a moment.
At the starting of the week, at Summit Talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday.
and suddenly I felt nothing.